missed Ohio State and waiting for a week to play Minnesota. Is this a situation where you guys would rather take a few days off and then be back at it, or is it maybe good to have a week off and then get back at it? Or?
I really don't think it matters. You know, I think what you do is if you're right back at it, you go right back at it, you get ready and you play and you take advantage of that. If you have some time off, you rest some guys who are a little banged up, get some shots up, and you know, rest their minds and their bodies a little bit, and then get ready to play because we're not going to have this again.
Wasabi's really turned his game up a notch the last couple of games. Obviously, it's important to success your team, but do you think that's kind of Wasabi you're going to see the rest of the way as a senior?
You know, it certainly appears that way. I mean, he's had a focus that, you know, I go back to, again, I talked about Oglesby playing in August. Wasabi was really dominant in that stretch. And he had some really good games early, but, you know, I was sort of expecting this all year long. And again, you know, sometimes his minutes were a little bit less because we were ahead. But the way he has been playing, the way he played down the stretch in that game, I mean, with blocking shots and rebounding and making his free throws, you know, the huge tip in. You know, I think what you're seeing is a guy who's really comfortable right now, and you know, and excited to be playing the way he's playing. He wants to compete at that level, wants to play beyond college, and I think you're seeing a different level of maturity with his entire approach. And if he's playing like that, we're a better team. There's no question about it.
And White's performance seems pretty consistent. I mean, he's
very consistent. I don't think you're going to see much change there. And he's going to do what he does. You know, you don't think of him as a three-point shooter. He makes a huge three in the game because he's not afraid to shoot threes late. Makes them. He's always done that. He's going to rebound. He's also going to make steals and get involved in transition opportunities. And he's not a mistake guy either.
In your first 3 years, you had strong leadership each and every year from a senior, whether it was Jared Cole, Matt Gatins, or Eric May. This year, they seem to be a little bit different. They lead in different ways. Is that fair, or is there someone that just really has a?
You know, Dad leads just by, you know, how he goes about his business. He's not a big talker. You know, there's times when I wish he would say more because he's an incredibly cerebral player. You look at a talented athlete, sometimes you stereotype him. He is a thinking man's player. And I think he's got more to share, you know, but I think in some ways he's constantly focused on what he's supposed to be doing, where he's supposed to be going, and things of that nature. And, you know, Aaron White has become more of a vocal guy. You know, and Wasabi and McCabe are more sportsman-like players. You know, neither of them do a lot of talking either. You know, that they don't make a lot of mistakes either. You know, Melson used to make a lot more. He doesn't do that anymore. I think you're seeing him affect the game defensively more than he ever has. He always did rebounding and shot blocking, but now he's doing it by guarding people that are maybe a little more versatile than we would have been comfortable with him guarding, you know, a year and a half ago. So those guys have all come together, I think, in their own way, and collectively have led very well.
Do you see yourself kind of tightening your rotation a little bit now, or?
That's possible. Or I don't want to. It's not going to be by design. It'll be a game-by-game thing. You know, with the way Josh played the other day, you know, precluded Clemens from coming back in. That happened. You know, but we'll see.
We were talking about Utah and you need to be more aggressive. The baseline move he made to give you the lead for good, and then he hit a three in that stretch too. You think that's going to maybe help him down the road?
Yeah, you know, I always kind of felt like, you know, he was going to be that guy. You know, I think that type of game and that type of situation, you know, clearly defines that, and you know, for all of us. Yeah, but I've been encouraging him to, you know, just attack more and shoot more and things of that nature. You know, and he is who he is. He's just not a high volume guy in that sense. You know, he wants to make plays. He'll attack the rim. He'll shoot it when he's open. I do think if he is more aggressive, we'll be better for it. You know, and I've encouraged him to do that. And I think you're right. I think that could be a step in terms of that being the right direction for him.
Under Tubby, the Gophers were one of the best rebounding teams in the league, if not in the country. They seem to have adjusted their preference to more perimeter-based three-point shooting, but still pretty aggressive on the perimeter. Do you think that's worked well for them this year, or is they still a work in progress to get where they
I
want to
think
be?
it's worked well. I mean, I think that's how they're going to play. You know, they're going to be quick, and they're going to shoot threes, and they're going to press. And, you know, the big guys, for them, have been very effective. You know, Eliason, Osinix, Joey King, those guys have been really good. Because Osinix and King can make threes as well, which really stretches the defense even more. And Eliason, he's been impressive to me. You know, his ability to run the floor and be mobile and still be big, excuse me, and affecting him what he does with his shot blocking, scoring the ball. Walker was hurt. He's in the best shape of his life. So, you know, clearly when you look at the bodies of those guys, you know, that's an emphasis, and you're seeing it. And I don't think there's going to be a change. I think that's how they're going to play.
How difficult is Andre Hollings? He seems to be one of the better guards in the country year in and year out.
Yeah, he's excellent, you know, because he can get his own, or he can shoot off the catch, or he can shoot off the screen. He can score in bunches. But I think Matthews made a big difference in taking pressure off of both the Hollinses and getting them the ball. I mean, those two guys are really playing well. I think a lot of the reasons because of Matthew. You know, he's taken, you know, major responsibilities away from them in terms of handling the ball. He can go score.
What do you say to someone like Zach as far as being able to encourage him after the beginning of the day?
I'd say anything to him. You know, I mean, I want him to do the exact same thing the next game that he did. You know, I think in all honesty, you know, he may be rushing a little bit. I may talk to him about that. I mean, but I mean, I thought his shots were good. I mean, I thought he'd make a couple of them. He didn't. But, you know, he still was really good on the defensive end, and he makes a great pass to Josh on the back cut. He's a very effective player, even if he's not making threes. But I think he will.
I think he had 4 rebounds and 3 assists, maybe 1 turnover or less. I
The
mean,
other thing is, you know, defensively, you know, when they started trying to work the baseline and running cutters back there, I mean, he's so experienced. You know, he knew when to come over, he knew when to stay on the other side, and just always in the right place. You know, and if you're staring at the ball in the zone and guys are cutting behind you, you better know what's going on. And that's why he was in there in that stretch. And he made a difference, you know, defensively. The zone was effective. It's effective because you got guys that know what to do. You know how to talk and communicate. You know when to fight, post, and when to get out to the shooter. And, you know, that's where he's effective.
did you put a priority this week on rest, knowing next week you got 3 games in 7 days, school starting, and
We do. We've I think, practiced well, but you know we haven't killed it.
I know there hasn't been as much about it this year as there was a year ago, but playing again on the anniversary of Christie's death, are you playing anything as far as a tribute, like having the jersey on the bench again on Sunday?
No, we were not planning on doing that. You know, we'll be thinking about it.
Anything else?